Hi everyone, this is Roshni Sangvi. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist. My intention is to help people heal through food. Today let's discuss white rice versus brown rice. Which one is more important when it comes to diabetes management? Now, when it comes to diabetes, we generally villainize grains. We say don't have rice, don't have fruits, don't have roti, don't have things which are grains and carbohydrates basically. But these are actually very important for your body. In fact, carbohydrates, especially whole grains, have been considered to help with managing diabetes and even reducing your fasting glucose and HbA1c levels. The countries across the world which consume the maximum amount of whole grains also have the longest lifespans. So it is important for you. But the difference between a whole grain and the processed grain is what is the difference between white and brown rice. The brown rice has this outer layer around it called the barn. And when you remove that barn, you have the white rice. And that is processing. So the rice is going through one step of removing something from the original state. And that is processing. The more you process the grains, the worse it becomes when it comes to diabetes management. You want to eat food minimally processed. So not processed to a huge extent. Let's discuss though, why did farmers start removing this outer layer? Why was this even there in the first place? Now, years ago, when rice was used as a commodity, when people started trading rice between cities, between countries, people started noticing the natural oils which are present in the outer layer of the rice reduced its shelf life. So brown rice, if you store it, will store for a much lesser time before it starts going bad, versus white rice, which had the outer layer removed, could be stored for a long period of time. The other benefit the farmers had was if they removed this outer layer called the barn of the rice, they could sell the barn separately and the rice separately. Thus, they got more profits versus selling the brown rice as a whole. Now that we know the history, let's discuss when it comes to diabetes, what is important. Like I already told you, minimally processed grains are the most important. One interesting study done showed that if people switched white rice every day for brown rice, they saw a 16% improvement in their diabetes symptoms. 16% is a really big step. But what was even more interesting is if you stop rice altogether and instead eat other grains like oats and barley, millets, the improvement in diabetes was up to 36%. It was much, much more. So does that mean you should stop eating rice forever? That's not true. You should continue to eat all grains, but make sure that rice is not repeated every single day in your meal plan. So maybe once or twice in a week, if you're having your grain source coming from rice, the other days can be things like millets, like bajra, jowar, quinoa, and even oats. Make sure you have this rotation of grains going on constantly. Other important part when it comes to diabetes management is don't make rice the center of your dish. So traditionally, if you look at a South Indian food, you have sambar rice, rasam rice, curd rice, dal rice. You have so many different things, but the center being rice. So about 50-60% of what you're eating is rice, and then comes the other dishes. I want you to change this around. Specifically, if you're struggling with diabetes, 50% of your plate should be vegetables. Raw and cooked, you can choose whatever you want. Only 25% should be your grain of choice. Any grain, you choose whichever grain you want, but no more than 25% of your plate. And the remaining 25 should be lentils and pulses. Things like dals, chana, rajma, chole, all of these are very important. So keep this mental plate in mind. I have a picture representation for you here. 50% vegetables, 25% grains, and 25% of lentils and pulses. This is the most ideal diet for diabetes management. It's simple. It's not very complicated. So don't villainize grains. Grains are important. They have anti-inflammatory effects. They have very good effects to control your blood sugar levels. Minimally processed grains are better than processed grains. So brown rice is better than white rice. But make sure that you have a variety of grains in your diet. You include multiple grains. Really hope this helps.